Where is he? All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Uh, Clearly, this is the Angry Prepper. So, um, couple of things I'd like to get out of the way, guys. One is any questions not pertaining to what we're talking about right now. Could you save those questions? Can you save those questions for a little later? I want to knock out what we have to discuss, and then we can um, get back into it. Stream is 5x5. Thanks, Dan H. I was just about to ask, how am I looking? How am I sounding? But thank you, guys. Thank you for jumping ahead of that, Dan. Yes, also sorry for being a little late. I made dinner late, and then I had to scramble to get everything together, which I thought I had everything together, but I didn't. All right, guys. So, LMB, we're definitely going to talk about vaccines in a little bit. We're going to start with what's going on, everybody. So I get everyone out of the way. No problem, Kurt. Thank you for the email. And so let's talk about these Chinese seeds. Um, as a lot of you know, I didn't hear about this till yesterday. Prepper Nurse, not yesterday, 2 days ago, Prepper Nurse 1 was talking about it. And I was just like, that's kind of strange. So nonetheless, I looked it up. And lo and behold, people are sending out, well, not people, the Chinese are sending out seeds. What's going on, everyone? So, they said some mysterious package. They are not sure what the species of the plant is, and why would they be sending us seeds out of the kindness of their hearts? Now, China, for the most part, are scumbags. And not the people, the government, right? So the people have nothing to do with what the government does, if that makes any sense. That being said, yes, the government didn't pack these seeds on their own. I understand that, but nonetheless, the Chinese do what they're told by the government, and they do it. They're not like us. They're not free. They can't tell the government to go fuck themselves like we can. So that being said, if you get a package from China and there are seeds inside, the USDA is asking that you, I guess there's a link that I'm going to put at the end of the stream. And you hit the link and you let them know that the day you got it and what you got, and then they'll contact you for further instructions. Do not throw them away. That is the one thing they keep saying. Do not throw away the seeds, because the seeds could take root and grow into something they're unsure of. Right. So our boy Hemingway says that it could be to destroy our um, environment. Absolutely. They could be an invasive species. We don't know. So I'd say burn them. If you get them and you have the opportunity to burn them, burn the seeds. Though there could be something on the seeds. I guess that's why the USDA said to contact them. But I would be more inclined to burn them so that no one gets them, right? So it doesn't accidentally escape from the USDA's labs or whatever they have it up. The messenger, you didn't miss anything yet. So I just got into this. So guys, the Chinese seed is just looking like another tactic for the Chinese government to screw us over somehow. Don't know what, but looking like they're trying to screw us somehow. The Chinese are not that giving, right? And they do not give without wanting something back. That's just how they are. Brian, the seeds are labeled. I guess that the packaging says it's from China or there's some Chinese writing on it. But I'm not. I looked up. I was trying to look up the labels and I couldn't find anything. I did find one person scratched their name off, but I'm not sure. Like, other than it saying it's from China, no one's quite sure where it's from. So Pamela says, "Do not burn the seeds." Pamela, why shouldn't we burn the seeds? Actually, the seeds are suspicious. That's one of the reasons why they want you to get rid of them. And like I said, don't throw them away. They said call the USDA. So I guess they want you to hand them over to them. But I'm not 100% sure why. Um, so Pamela said don't burn the seeds. I'm going to go off for her and Karen and saying spores could be released. Now, how could spores be released if you're burning it? If you got a nice hot fire going, how do spores get released from that? Because I thought spores burn too. No? Anyway, like I said, I'm not a gardener. I don't know much about gardening. So if you guys can clarify why not, by all means. All right. So Pamela's saying that the seeds could be toxic. Thank you for that. Um, so that's all right. So a couple of people saying they could be toxic. All right. So then don't burn the seeds. Just give them into the USDA. However that goes. Now we're going to talk about prepper. Now we're going to talk about uh, warfare with China a little later today. But thank you for bringing that up because that's a big one. Now on to a bigger topic, guys. Um, all right, Lady M. All right, that makes sense. And then somebody said, "See, some seeds flourish after burning." You know what? North Shore preparedness. You are right about that because that happens with forest fires, right? Um, a lot of the seeds that are left behind or were starting out burned, they actually help the forest grow, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's how part of it works, along with rain, mold, and everything else that happens after forest fires. So that is good. All right, so I take that back. Do not burn the seeds. Just give it to the SDA, USDA. All right, so let's go on to a bigger subject that's probably going to take up probably half this stream. And I'm going to ask a question a little later, so right, Marbury. They said don't throw them out, and now don't burn them. All right, I must have missed that, but if that's what they said, hand it to the USDA. All right, so this bigger subject, guys, is the vaccine. Now, last night, Trump made an announcement about a vaccine that's on track to being released in August. From what I know about vaccines, guys, it's virtually impossible for a vaccine to be made in 7 months. Sorry, 6 months, right? So a vaccine, what's going on, Nick? A vaccine that's been worked on for 6 months and is already headed into human trials in 6 months is virtually impossible. There's no technology, and some of you are going to argue, yes, technology today makes it faster for us to find that way of vaccines for humans. Still, you have to test the vaccines on animals, and that takes 6 months to a year. And they've done it in 3 months, right? A lot of these places started working on the vaccine at the height of the pandemic, which was in March, right? March or April. May, June, July. That's 3 months. I'm sorry, guys. 3 months. These vaccines of all of a sudden work. Now, here's the problem with there's a lot of problems with vaccines, but this vaccine in particular, we're going to stick on or talk about because how do you make a workable vaccine or a curable vaccine or a vaccine that stops a virus in 3 months? It's virtually impossible. I've gone to school long enough to know that's bullshit. And CMAC, thank you for that. Moderna, right? If I'm saying that right, Moderna is a company or the vaccine that's in experimental phase. I think they're entering phase 3 in a couple weeks. So phase 3 is human trial. So they're done with animal trial in 3 months. Nevertheless, it takes up to a year because you have to test different animals at different stages, whether that's the young, middle-aged, if you will, and then old age. And they only tested in, they're actually not telling us what they tested it in, actually. So in 3 months, you come out to say, okay, the vaccine did good, right? The vaccine cured them from coronavirus. But that doesn't tell you what the vaccine is going to do in 6 months to a year. And so in 6 months to a year, the vaccine could very well have you A, grow an extra nipple, B, your dick fall off, right? Or C, you go completely crazy. Now, being that this is a respiratory vaccine, there shouldn't be any side effects to the brains, but who knows, because we don't know what they're putting in the vaccine. And they're not going to tell us what's in the vaccine. That's the bigger problem with this whole thing. And yes, a lot of you are saying that the vaccine, no on the vaccine, no go. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. It's the worst. I'm not taking the vaccine, that's for damn sure. Um, right, C-Mac, right. So no long-term safety trial is reckless. So that's the problem with the whole thing with this vaccine. It's too fast. And now they're trying to push this vaccine like it's the shit. Oh, well, first of all, it goes to the highest bidder in this case. It's not the lowest bidder, it's the highest bidder. And the highest bidder is going to make the best vaccine, and then dole it out to people. Now they're talking about who gets it first. They're starting this bullshit, right? So the who gets it first bullshit, and let me clarify, is so that people can rush to get it. Now, obviously, guys, those of you who are watching this are not are siding with not taking the vaccine. Okay? So, with that being said, you're not going to take this vaccine. That's all of you guys who are probably watching. All 497 of you guys watching are most likely not going to take this vaccine. There's still millions of other people out there who will. Right, be ready today. So the problem with this vaccine is that the coronavirus is like the common cold and the flu in terms of it always changes, right? It's how do you say? What word am I looking for? It's an ever changing virus, if you will, right? So that being said, this is something you shouldn't be entertaining. And again, how do you go from phase 1 to phase 3 in 3 months, right? So phase 3 is human trials. So for anyone who talks about we're entering phase 3 for this vaccine, how do you enter phase 3 in 3 months? That means for every month you went in a phase in and out. And listen, I know a lot of you guys think this is fake. Like I said, I know more than enough people that died from it now. So it being fake, probably not. Its contagiousness of it, the its mortality rate, I don't think it's that high. I just think that the COVID virus is adding to the death rate of the flu or what is it, tuberculosis and things like that. It's adding to it. I don't think wholly that it's going to knock out as many people as they would like. And when I mean they, it's whoever the hell set it loose. But nonetheless, this vaccine is a terrible, terrible idea, guys. All right, now listen. If I do get kicked off because I'm talking about this virus the way I am, I'll be back on. All right. Now, a lot of it, again, guys, this vaccine, like I said before, is not to be trusted, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. We should not be lined up to take it. Now, if they tell you that you have to take it, then you're going to have to come up with some amazing bullshit not to take it, or just simply refuse it. But keep in mind, the government might not force us, guys. I don't think the government's going to force us to take this. I think our jobs are going to force us to take this. Ernie McCracken. You could keep saying it's fake. Like I said, if you live here in New York City, do me a favor. Come down to the hospitals and help out with the bodies that they're taking in and out of the morgues. And then you let me know it's fake. And then I've actually seen x-rays on this COVID, and the way these people's lungs look, it's insane, right? And we're talking about people who were young or healthy just a week or two prior to getting it. So there's something to be said about this virus. I think this virus is what it was supposed to be. Well, not what it's supposed to be. Sorry, it was supposed to be something a lot stronger. And it didn't turn out that way. It turned into a fail. It only killed, I don't know, what is it, worldwide now? 1 million people, something like that? Worldwide, it only killed 1 million people. That means the death rate is not that bad. But, again, for those who think COVID is a hoax, like I said, you come down to the city and you help out, and then we'll see. And when you come down to the city and help out, don't wear any protection if you think it's a hoax. This is all I have to say about everyone who says it's fake. Again, I don't think it's fake, but I know that it's not where they wanted it to be. That's that's for sure. Because the way that they're pushing this vaccine on us now, it's insane. I don't like where this is going. I don't like the fact that our jobs are going to make us take this. I'm in retirement stage right now, so I could retire tomorrow. If my job told me I had to take it, see you later, man. I'm out, right? Um, right, Miss Sunflower. That's the other thing about the virus. The numbers have been skewed, and that's why people think it's fake. And that's the problem. That's a huge problem. Um, Ernie McCracken, I have seen the proof. Right? I wish I could show it to you guys, but I can't because it is against something called a HIPAA law. And because I'm a medical professional, if you would say, I can't show you guys that. Now, if I retire and I get my hands on pictures like that again, or x-rays like that, then I can show it to you, right? Again, um, that's the only thing. The HIPAA law is something you do not mess with. And if you guys want to look up the HIPAA law, doctors, nurses, EMTs, first responders, hell, any kind of physician cannot take it. Yeah, Ernie. No, you're absolutely right. I do think Ernie McCracken. I do think it's blown way out of proportion. That's for sure. I know it's real. I know there's people who died of it. I just don't understand. You know where this is trying to go, what the disease is trying to do. But now look at the baseball teams. The baseball teams are rolling back their season now. They're talking about canceling the season because of the Marlins, right? All of the teammates there, 17 of them got sick. So listen, guys, the problem with the COVID is that it's just they lied about the numbers, right? They lied about wearing a mask, whether it was safe or good, and so because of so many lies and being caught in so many lies, now people are looking at it like, you know, holy shit, this is probably fake. They lied so much, and there it goes. Once you do that, you can divide a nation in half. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they didn't. Who knows? You know. And so it's a lot. So guys, remember there's a 30-second delay from the time I say something to the time I see your what you call it. It's a 30-second difference. So if I jump into another subject and I see a question that was relating to something 30 seconds ago, I might not answer it because I'm trying to sort of stay on track of what I'm doing and leave time for questions later. Um, so try to bear with me with that. I'm just trying something new. Trying to talk and then answer questions at the same time and being taken off subject. Um, I noticed last stream was a lot, and because I have more viewers now than normal, it's I'm trying to adapt to what I'm getting now, right? So, guys, we have to. Here's the problem with this whole thing. All of it, every last bit of it. We have to wait and see. That's the unfortunate part about this. Um, and Alex, depends on where you are. What you call it? Mask wearing might be needed. All right. So I don't know. I do not know. So again, guys, if you have any questions um, that's not pertaining to this, let's save it for the end. So we have a Q&A, and then I'm going to next week have a Q&A just across the board. We'll touch on certain things. Like I want to do a weekly update on what's going on here in the city because the city's falling apart. Just before I jump into the next subject, which is war with China, we're going to talk about something they just canceled here in New York City. So New York City had this program. I think California, certain cities in California have it. It's a scooter program, right? A motorized scooter. You zip around town like an asshole until you get hit by a truck or a car. Right? You blow through lights. You come close to hitting people, and it's a sort of a game here in the city. And that being said, there was a scooter company called Revel. Now Revel, and I told many people this before, wasn't going to last long because you had idiots jumping on scooters who knew they couldn't drive these scooters around, jumping on scooters and taking off. So your first time on a scooter, you're fucking riding around like it's cool. right? And you're riding around like you know what you're doing, and then right into a fucking wall because you forgot to hit the brakes. That was going on. 2 people died recently, and so they stopped the Revel scooter thing. Now that's a good thing because there's less traffic on the street, and that's less people I have to play fucking bowling with. Because believe it or not, these people cut in front of you, zip through fucking stoplights, and then play innocent once they got hit. You know. Nice one, IKJDF. So I like I said, the scooter thing just it pissed me off to no end. If you're gonna stop at the light, fine, cool. But you're blowing through lights as I'm coming through, and then like I said, the last 2 people that died, one was a lady from CBS here in New York. She died. She's one of those street interview ladies. She died, and then some guy in Queens died 2 days ago. So, guys, it's defiled by pigeons. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. So, it's that's one good thing. Now, to jump into something else that I'm seeing here in New York City that's not going to be good once everything opens up. All right. Um, I've noticed, and hopefully you guys notice, probably in your states, new cars, right? So when you're driving down the road and you see a car in front of you or opposite the road coming next to you, you see that new white plate, right? That paper plate that they just got the car out of the dealer. Because a lot of people are not going to be jumping back on the trains. A lot of people are not going to be taking buses. They'd rather drive. So whether that's 20% of the ridership that doesn't want to ride anymore on the trains and buses and now join the street traffic, that's 20% more traffic in the street, which traffic was already at a standstill. Forget about it now. So that means now bugging out of the city, a city like New York City, is going to be crucially hard. So now I have to adjust my bug out the city. So now we're looking at bikes that I can keep in my storage unit, provided everyone in my family knows how to ride a bike. So that's what we're entertaining. We're entertaining getting bikes. I'm looking at something called like one of those one-wheel cycle things. Those are pretty cool. They go up to 60 miles an hour. The only problem is there's nothing to protect you if you hit anything. I mean, neither is a bicycle, but this thing is pretty cool. I'm looking to get that and do a bug out with it to see how that works. First of all, to see whether or not I make it to my B destination. Hopefully I make it alive. And see how well it will work as a bug out tool. Right? So Billy the cab driver, I used to be a messenger a long time ago, man. And there was a rush in being a bike messenger in the city. I had to admit, when I was younger, in my 20s, right, like 18, 20 years old, I was all about it. I was all about like zipping through lights, like the guys I hate now. And I wouldn't try to beat the light. Like if the light turned red, I stopped. But if it was yellow, I'd speed up and see if I could beat it, And I always did, because as a messenger, you like, fuck it, I didn't give a shit. But now that I'm older, I'm not doing it anymore because it's just stupid. Because you get into an accident now, you fucked up everyone's day, right? So it's is what it is. Now, Drago said inflatable raft. Inflatable raft is one way to get off this rock. Yes, bicycle is probably a little better, though we have an inflatable raft. So if we couldn't use the bikes, we'll use the inflatable rafts. And one of the bikes has to have a trailer on it, unfortunately, so we can carry things like an inflatable rafts and stuff like that. But walking is my primary way out. But for the wife and kids, they need to be on a bike. So I need to be on a bike, so I need to fucking pedal my ass out of here. Damien, yes they are. Those one wheels are awesome. They are expensive, but I'm still looking to get one. For the one, to do a review on this channel to see how it would make as a bug out vehicle, and 2, because I'm curious as to how it works, and it's another way for me to get something and convince the wife I'm using it for this channel. So no matter what I get, I'm using it for this channel, right? I'd be getting a spatula for cooking, and I'm going to use the excuse of this channel, just to, because after I mention the channel, she sort of leaves it alone. Sort of, not all the time. Unbridled, thank you for that. You definitely get life jackets with your inflatable rafts. That is a must, guys. Kimmit, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Thanks. So, guys, the next subject, if you will, we're sort of on track right now, so this is really good. Um, Jeff W. Yes, electric bikes do work great. The problem is, how far do they go? The one wheel that I'm looking at, it goes 175 miles before it needs to be recharged. So I would deduct 50 miles off of that and make it 125 miles because people sort of always overdo it, and still that's not bad. The problem is recharging it. I have to come up with a way to recharge it, and I don't think a solar charger would charge it enough. Not at least three of them, unless we all carried solar chargers that were strong enough to recharge those one wheels. That's the problem. Val William, I'll see if I can pull that up for you. I'm gonna look for it in a little bit to see if I can look it up while I'm talking. Actually, tropical storm. So
I found a way to run my old computers.
Sorry about that.
Hard drive. Here it is, and it's not.
All right. Okay, good. So, don't know why I'm watching myself on the iPad again, just to make sure everything's going according to plan. And it's cool. Now, I mean, I know who my moderators are here, but looking at this, man, it just stands out. It pops so much more. All right. So, anyway, no, Gene, 170 miles an hour, that would be awesome, but no. Mary, depends on where you go. 120 miles actually outside of this city is not another city. There's actually the Catskills. There's some towns there, but not any cities. And then if I was to double that, I would end up in the Adirondacks. And there's a lot of Adirondacks in those cities. One or two cities. But if you go smack dab in the Adirondacks, there's no cities around you for like what, an out 2-3 hours. So it all depends on where you go. Yeah, like I said, I'll try to look up the one wheel and put it. Matter of fact, I'll put it up in the community chat board or the community board later tonight, so that so that you could look at it. That would be. I thought that would be a fucking awesome. What you call it? And I saw a video on it, and I was really impressed by the one wheel. It was really cool. So, anyway, let's talk about the situation at hand with China. Now, we already talked about China and their sending us seeds out of the kindness of their hearts. No. But China is itching for war. And I think China is itching to test their muscle. It's been a long time. I think they're ready. I think they waited because they couldn't get Trump to bend to their will. They're looking to start a war. And that's, listen, guys, a war for us with China, boots on ground, would be bad. They just outnumber us. Their army outnumbers our army. All of our armies combined, right? All of our military branches combined, the Chinese army beats us out, hands down. Something like 3-1 or something like that, or 5-1, right? So that's bad. And China teamed up with Russia, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now? Probably longer than that. I mean, they've always been allies, but I think they teamed up now to destroy the United States in certain ways. Now, one way that there's a rumor going around, again, guys, this is a rumor, this is not facts. A rumor's going around is the idiot from the NFAC group, right? That stupid moron, that's the leader of the group. He said that Russia and China contacted him to help him with funds to help him destroy America. This is what he said. So that being said, again, that's a rumor of what he said. Sorry. Not that that's what he said. That's a rumor of what he said. So, that's bad. Prepper Now, thank you for that. 260 fishing boats ended up off the coast of Venezuela or Ecuador. He just said it too. Ecuador, sorry. near the Galapagos Island. Now, why in the hell would China allow 260 fishing boats off the coast of Ecuador? There's got to be a point, man. Got to be a point to it. Now, my theory is that they fished all the shit they could out of their oceans, out of their area, if you will. And with that, what's going on, Miss Vital? With that, they ran out of food or fish there, and now they came over to the Ecuador coast. But the Navy is keeping an eye on them. Now, last year, the Ecuador Navy, I think they arrested a couple fishermen because their boats entered their water. I think their boats are right outside their water. China is up to no good. 260 fishing ships just so happen to be around their coast. That's not good. China also moved troops to India's border and started a skirmish with them about a month ago now, right? What are they doing? Then they go into Hong Kong. They take Hong Kong over. They're messing with the Philippines again. And there was something about Vietnam, but I cannot remember what it was. But I know that they were messing with Vietnam. So, China's up to no good. Yeah, the messenger, exactly. Grandmaster J. I mean, why would he pick that name? Whatever. It's above me. So hold on. So sorry. So, China also releases a virus that puts us in a panicky state, if you will. I don't want to say that it's killing the world, because it's not, but I don't want to say it's fake. I said they released a virus to fuck everything up. But they also fucked their economy, and they didn't see that coming. Idiots. So now their economy's about to crash. But here's the problem with China crashing, their economy crashing. If their economy crashes, our economy's fucked, and vice versa. So I do not understand how. I do not understand why China wants to fuck with us and why we want to fuck with China when we're both dependent on each other's financial system, if you will. So that's mind-boggling to me. I get if China wants to flex muscles, so be it. Yes, and that was the other thing. I heard something. Thank you for that. Be ready. I'm sorry, Billy the Cap. Thank you for that. There was something about the dams that they were releasing water into a village. Again, guys, China is. It seems like China's just like the president lost his mind. He fucking went crazy, went AWOL, and now he's doing all of these things at one time. Now, some people say Rome fell because of multiple things going on. I think China's Rome. I don't think it's us, and I think China is going to undo their own bullshit because they're just doing too many things, too many places, and they are stretching themselves thin. I understand they got the manpower for it, but they are stretching themselves thin. Roll Duke. I heard about that asteroid. They said they were supposed to miss us. Somebody said it was going to hit. Then somebody said it was going to come disturbingly close, and I'm hearing it's just going to be close. It's nothing to be worried about. But that being said, there could be other asteroids behind it. We don't know. So, someone mentioned Vietnam and China. I hate scrolling back on this thing, guys. It really, really sucks. And it was so long ago. Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. Only look out. Okay. All right, that's what it was. So, okay, that makes sense, Jason Fields. So because our economy is toast, and listen, guys, I do think our economy is toast. I just don't know why they're carrying on like it's not. And then there's this what is that called? The checks we're getting, those COVID checks we're getting. I don't understand that, right? I don't understand why they're coming up with another stimulus check when the economy's on the brink of crashing, and they're pumping money or oil into a dead vehicle, gasoline, sorry, into a dead vehicle. The United States economy is dead. The second wave is going to be the boulder on top of everything else. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on when it comes to that. Sorry, when it comes to that, I just don't understand that. So the economy is toast, and we're just carrying on. We're just carrying on like it's there's nothing to it. Right? Thank you, stimulus. Right? So, what I call it the COVID check, because you know what? It, it they're giving us something that is just going to it's going to make more problems. And I don't know. Maybe they know that. Maybe maybe they know this, and this is what they're thinking. Oh, it'll pump money back into a system that's dead because there's no businesses to spend the money on. Everyone's fucking closed, right? And the second wave that's going to have a close down on businesses, forget it, forget it. It's going to be really really bad, and then there won't be any businesses to spend money on. So now here's the thing, guys. There's one thing about the chat. If you guys are coming on late and you're watching the beginning of my chat and you're making a comment at something I said 30 minutes ago, it throws me off when I see it here because I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And I'm like, oh yeah, I mentioned it 30 minutes ago. Because now that I'm on other live streams, I watch other live streams, I see how that happens now, right? For example, Prepper Nurse One was talking about something yesterday about the NFAC crew, or 2 days ago, and when I jumped on, I realized that it wasn't live, and he was talking about them. I was about to make a comment, and I realized it wasn't live, and then I hit the live button, and it brought me up to real time. So keep that in mind when you're on anyone's live stream. Make sure that the bottom left hand corner, the red light that says live is on. It has to be red, not gray. If it's gray, that means you're not live. If it's red, that means you're live with the person on screen. All right, sorry about that rant. So here's the other thing, guys. We're in a cold war with China. Some people will say no. Some people will say yes. We're in a cold war. This tit for tat shit is getting out of control. The Chinese embassy that was shut down in Texas, right? Now they retaliated by telling an embassy, a U.S. embassy somewhere in China that they had to leave. So now it's a tit for tat. We're in a cold war. The problem is, from articles I've read, we are not able to win a cold war. A cold war, sorry, because they just have more playroom. They have Russia to back them up, and I think, if not, Iran to back them up as well. So they got 3 countries who will play with them to combat us. That's bad. Miss Vital, those are replica swords. I have one realish sword behind me, but they're replica swords. I've been looking to get real steel for a long time. Thank you, our boy Hemingway. Thank you for answering that. So we're in a cold war now, guys, and that's just a simple fact. And it could get worse. And financially, if we get crushed financially, not by this cold war, but by this whole COVID shit, China could very well be taking advantage of us in a lot of ways. They could hold things over our heads. They could say, oh, you guys need such and such energy source now. Well, we have such and such energy source for you guys. Let's make a deal. Now, an EMP. I'm gonna dial it back to another subject. EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Electromagnetic pulse goes off, and our energy, what you call power plants, are destroyed. Right? Destroyed. So now, let's. Amy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. So now an EMP goes off, and the power plants, there's generators that we need, obviously, to power our country. These generators are built in China. Why on God's green earth is something that we need, that's the lifeline to this country, is made in China? We have to take that material, take that company, and bring them back here. Should we have an EMP, we could pump out those generators and get them shipped here. Not shipped here. Get them made here and get them put in place quickly. If we give the power to China, which we already did, because China has all the power they need right now when it comes to shit like that, we won't get it back without giving up part of the country to China. That's the problem. This is why we have to get rid of our business relationship with China. We have to make them want to come to us and not the other way around, right? So that's the huge problem. So sorry about that. I had to turn the autofocus off. So, Yeah, Eric. If the one wheel's plugged in, I would lose it. But there's a lot with EMPs. There's a lot of misconception with EMPs. I want to do a video on it, but the video would be like fucking 5 parts because there's a lot of misconceptions with EMPs, and people think things like your cell phone would go dead if an EMP went off. No, if your cell phone is plugged into a wall, it would go off. It would absolutely short out. But if your cell phone's in your hand, it's not going to short. It can't, especially if you have a case and all this other bullshit around it. The problem is your cell phone's now rendered useless because um, the towers will be out. So you have that problem, right? You have to, uh, like I said, a lot of misconceptions with EMPs. It's insane. Yeah, some Faraday cages and stuff are good. There's the EMP fabrics. I saw that. Yao Ming, thank you for that. Or she's got, or he's got. I can't tell by that name. EMP fabrics on Amazon. Yes, but there's a lot of misconceptions. There is a scientist who did a study on EMPs, and when I listened to his whole findings on it, you're like, he pretty much tells you if it's plugged in the wall at the time the EMP goes off, it will be useless. So my computer right now is plugged in. If an EMP went off, this will all be shit to bed. But if it wasn't plugged in, it'd still be useless. It's big metal, it's big antenna, big metal plates that would be affected by it. Cars, for example, because all the electronics in them would short out. Obviously, old cars won't. Older cars won't. I think it's 80 something cars and back, right? Because there's certain cars like that don't have electronics in them, like radios. The radio will go out, but the engine would still be running. I wish I could find that study, guys. It was a podcast I saw online years ago, and I listened to this whole thing, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So we all had it wrong. It doesn't knock everything out; it just knocks out those things that are plugged in. But even if even if you don't have stuff plugged in and you put it back in, it's still useless because there'll be no TV channels, there'll be no cable because everything's out. So again, and right, two-way radios would still work provided there's somebody on the opposite end of that signal. Um, again, it was a whole study I did, and I was trying to figure out a way. 1978. Thank you, Maggie. Actually, sorry, Maggie G. They went a little younger, right? A little younger, if that makes sense, like 1980 something. Because they were saying like they did a study on a car that was like in 1983 or 4, and the only thing that shorted out was the radio, right? And the AC. The AC didn't work for some reason, but the car still ran. Who needs an AC and who needs a radio during the shit hits the fan scenario? So an AC would be nice, but granted, you're trying to get from point A to point B. That bullshit don't matter. So that's one of the problems, guys. Now the whole thing with the war with China. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. I know that we're gonna end up in a war with them, but where's the war gonna take place? That's the big issue. Thank you, Young Cole, for the donation. I appreciate it. Here's minus 30%. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. And I don't know, guys. I just think we'll wind up at war with them. But where's it going to take place? It isn't going to take place in China. That's for sure. It's not going to take place here in the United States. Now, do I think China would invade us? If they grow balls enough, they might. They are looking for a world domination kind of deal, but I don't know. So we will see. We will see in the next few months what happens. Antic recovery. Surge protectors don't work because the EMP is too fast. It's faster than the surge protectors. Right? We all have surge protectors on our computers and big TV sets and things like that. It doesn't work during an EMP because the EMP is just too quick. It bypasses the surge protector and shuts it off. Again, if I could find this podcast of this doctor, or I could at least get his name, I will absolutely put it in the link and probably do a video on it as well because it was very, very eye-opening and interesting. The other thing is cars, right? Cars in garages here in the cities, right? In the cities, cars in garages, the deeper underground they are, the more protected they are because they're protected in a giant Faraday cage. Steel bars, rebars, things like that. So you have to keep that in mind as well. If the car is deep underground, and I think it's like a level, like just one level or two levels underground, as long as it's surrounded by metal, the car should be fine, right? So unless you have a Tesla and you have one of those chargeable Teslas, you're screwed. But if you have a car that runs on gasoline, you'll be fine. Like I said, there was a lot. There was a lot to be said in that video. Podcast. All right, guys, we are at the 45-minute mark, which is good. We're doing good today. What else should we talk? So, any questions that you guys have right now, you can absolutely ask me. We are going to do a Q&A. Went to fuel injection. I would guess. Thanks, Clinton. That's about right. That's what they were talking about. Right before fuel injections came out, that's where the cars were no longer like useful. Because once that happens, you're screwed, right? But again, if the solenoid is not in place, if it's still in a box sitting on a shelf, it's fine. Same thing with fuel injectors; they're fine as long as those items are not connected. They'll be okay, batteries and everything included. But once they're connected, they're shot. They're screwed. So you have to keep that in mind. Frezzo, I hope I'm saying your name right. Frezzo, gasoline will be fine. The pumps will not work. So you'll have to pump it out manually. And a lot of gas stations have those manual pumps. So keep that in mind. And they have the manual pumps for that reason. And I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a backup switch that a lot of gas stations have where they can pump it out on their own from inside or something like that. Patrick, what do you mean, what am I prepping right now? Like, what am I prepping right now for? If you're asking what I'm prepping right now for, it's what's going on. Everything that's going on, it's just like, oh shit. This is everything we talked about, guys, when we were preparing. Everything we talked about, and boom, this shit went down. Nick Leonard, do I think the COVID's worse than the flu? Ask me that question in another 6 months, and then we'll see. I don't know if it's worse than the flu. I do know that way more people got it than the flu. From what I've known, like come flu season, I know, let's say 10 people that caught the flu. Come COVID season, I know triple the amount of people who had COVID and had it. Not like they took a test. I mean, they actually had symptoms and shit from it. So that's where I'm basing it off of. Now, the problem with the testing is we all know the testings are faulty, right? Too many tests were compromised. Too many tests came back negative when they were positive. Too many tests came back positive when they were negative. That's the problem. So how the hell do we find the middle ground with the numbers on that? That's the crazy shit, right? Mario Martinez, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. No shit. Did they start segregating homeless people? That's strange. And someone just said, trying to keep up. But someone said something about bikes are being sold out. I did see that. I saw that, a while ago. I saw that bikes are selling like hotcakes, but here's the deal. The reason why they're selling like hotcakes is because people don't want to ride the trains and the buses. They're like, fuck that. They're out on it, and so they'd rather take their chances on a bike. And that's why this idiot, Corey Johnson, stupid fucking politician here in the city, he wants to close down or get rid of cars in the streets and cars in the city to make it impossible for you to bring a car in the city because they want to open it up to bikes. Because bike accidents are also going up. It has nothing to do with cars. They're smashing into each other and they're smashing into people. So, go figure, right? Fucking cyclist. I don't argue with them on a daily basis, but I get in enough shit with them. And that's when I'm not even in my car. When I'm just standing on the street and they want to zip through the light. And then you're like, fucking douche, Those are cyclists. I mean, and a lot of them, they try to play innocent, and then when you get in their face, they're like, well, you shouldn't. I'm just like, people have the right of way, period. And they seem not to get it. They never get that. Can't get bike parts from China. That's the other problem, guys. So with this China thing, China's looking now, they're starting this shit. They're withholding a lot of things we might need from us. So fuck them. We start making it here ourselves, guys. That's the reason why we need to get away from China and business with China is because they can hold shit over our heads. We can't have that. We need to start making it ourselves. We need to become the country we once were, where we made our own shit, where we did shit, for ourselves, where we didn't have to rely on another country. Countries relied on us to ship shit to them. Now it's the other way around. Now we're relying on them. India, Vietnam, Thailand, China, right? All these countries we're dependent on now to give us shit. Sean Penn or Pine, thank you for that. I appreciate the donation. There's also a shortage on aluminum, which they were focused on beers. But here's the problem, guys. They focused on beers and they didn't focus on the aluminum that we actually need for is food. If the aluminum cans are out, how are they going to package the food? There's already a food shortage coming. There's a food shortage on the way, right? So I tell everybody, let's get ready today, not tomorrow. Lotus flour, the timeline, I would say in another month, we're going to start seeing the trickle effects of food missing off the shelves. Not like we did back in March, where the panic buying went into effect. We're going to start seeing a trickle effect with the food. We're also going to start seeing less food being made because if the aluminum shortage is as real as it is, we're going to see way less food on the shelves. They're going to have to start recycling or doing something to make it, what's going on, Paul? To make up for the food that they can't pack now, which in turn, that food might go bad if they can't pack it, right? So we're going to have a problem with that. So we're going to see a food shortage, I would say, within about a month. We'll start seeing the first signs of it. And then what are we in September? It'll be in full effect. And with a second shutdown, everyone needs to get to the supermarket before the second shutdown so that you do not end up in the middle of the bullshit, guys. You don't. Do not want to end up in the middle of the fucking shit that's going to be coming with the second shutdown. I'm supposed to be doing a video on it. I didn't do any videos this week because I have to mention something. I played myself, right? A Cherokee A and B. I heard fish antibiotics are really good. I played myself the other day and I walked to work. It was 97 degrees out or 95. It felt like 99 degrees. It felt like it was fucking 110. Okay, so that was one. So I did a workout in the morning with my kids. We had a nice little workout. We sweat. Yay, we were done. I go home. For some reason, I drink very little water, like an asshole, and then I walk to work. It took me an hour and 5 minutes to get to work. It normally takes me 50 minutes to get to work, and I had heat exhaustion. I had a mild headache. I was dry. My lips were dry as shit. What else did I have? I didn't have blurred vision just yet. And I was extremely exhausted. Extremely exhausted. And anytime I got up, I got dizzy. I sat back down, I was fine. And I'm still recovering from the heat exhaustion. So heat exhaustion is not a one-day effect, guys. There's a mild heat exhaustion, and that's a couple of hours. I was probably more moderate to severe. Because it took me a couple days. Even today, when I got up, I was like, I still felt the effects of not drinking enough water. And so that being said, I didn't do any videos because I'm still feeling the effects of this. Tomorrow morning, I get back into video making. But drink a lot of water, guys. Drink as much water as you can. And heat like this, you have to drink water. So I know better than that. And like an idiot, I decided not to drink enough water and said, I got this, and headed out. You know what I found out during that walk? I'm not fucking 23 years old anymore. I'm 43. My body doesn't react the same way. So, there goes that. So don't play yourself. Heat exhaustion, right, Miss Vital? Heat exhaustion is real. So I learned my lesson. I won't be doing that again. And that's, that. Happy. The asteroid that's supposedly going to hit, this Israeli dude, he has a YouTube channel. He was talking about it. But even he said he's not sure if it's going to hit. So we have to wait and see, unfortunately, guys. John Fesden, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. it's I keep hearing about this asteroid, and I've been checking it out, and so far, nothing alarming in the skies. And you could look at the skies for yourself if you know where to look. And if you see an asteroid headed towards it's probably possibly not that big, and it's not moving that fast yet. So probably that's why it's not lit up. There's a lot of variables to asteroids, but as right now, I'm not really worried about it. And anyway, the asteroid he said that's going to hit is supposed to hit somewhere. He said somewhere overseas. I'm not mistaken, and where it hits, it'll cause destruction and mayhem in that area. That's again, that's what he said, but who knows? Israeli News Live channel. Thank you. Yeah, he was the one talking about the media and shit, and his channel was really really long. I mean, the video was really long, so I think I watched like 15 minutes of it. I was like, fuck this, I got other things to do. I'm gonna finish it. Don't get me wrong. I just, uh, I just needed to do other things, and he was just sort of dancing around getting into it. I'm like, dude, get into it and tell us whether we're gonna die tomorrow or we need Bruce Willis to help us out of this shit. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go back and finish watching it. And thank you for whoever said 43. I look good. I appreciate it, but I think I look 43 and I feel 43, especially when I get up in the mornings. Again, this heat exhaustion shit was insane, guys. I mean, I've had frost nip, I've had mild heat exhaustion before, especially after a fire. But the what I felt the other day, that was insane. I mean, it was insane. Um, oh, and I was nauseous. That's the other sign. I was nauseous and ready to puke because um, I had heat exhaustion, right? So I think I was probably more in the moderate to severe range than mild. Definitely wasn't mild. Jason, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So um, yes, Paul Kaiser. I had my testosterone checked a couple years ago. I was still in the man range, right? So I will get it checked again in another 9 years. Yeah, or what you call that. But it was definitely the heat exhaustion. It wasn't the lack of testosterone. But I know that's one of the signs. Being tired all the time, right? So yeah, no sheeple. Exactly. Listen, do not take the shot if you don't have to. I'm pretty sure you're behind. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Yankees. I'm not a big fan of any sports team, guys. I'm not a big sports dude. Um, Thank you, Sean. Thank you for that. I thought, I mean, sorry. I I just don't watch sports like that. My father watched sports. He ruined it for me because he when I was a kid, he would always put sports before us. Not always, but like the big games, he would put before us. So he would like, we're gonna go see the movie, or whatever the movie was that week, and we're like, yay! And then he'd be like, oh wait, the stupid Mets are playing. I can't take you. And we're like, son of a bitch. And then whatever. Um, then that was that. So he ruined sports for me forever. Possible real. Here and beyond. Thank you for that. Right. So they were talking about the one in 2029. They don't think that's the one that's going to hit us. 2036. They said it's possible that it's going to hit us, but they're not sure. But I know something's going to happen to this planet because NASA and SpaceX went into overtime and they're getting us off this rock, and not us, the elite, off this rock and onto Mars. They're looking to get us off this planet. Yes, Tradesky, absolutely. Um, Sports is not what it used to be, and it's not for the love of the game anymore. If some of you seen HBO special for the love of the game, I think there's a love of the game 1 and 2. That was, and like I said, I'm not a sports guy, but I loved that documentary on baseball. It was awesome, and that showed you when people love the game. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about taking a fucking knee. It was about playing a sport that you loved. And it's not like that anymore. Now it's all about money and who can get more endorsements. You know, um, that's another reason why I don't watch sports. I'm trying to get this. Oh no, wait. I got an easier way to find it. But the one wheel thing that I was talking about. I'm gonna see if I can find a link to that the video because the thing was insane. But All right, guys. So we are at the 1 hour mark. Ashley, yeah, boxing. Listen, I think all of the stages except MMA because I don't know anybody, with the exception of MMA. I don't think anybody wants to get this shit kicked out of them for the sake of getting the shit kicked out of them for a few $100s. Dan, I do CrossFit. I do like an older man's version of CrossFit. Um, I also I still lift heavy. While I still can, I lift heavy. I do deadlifts, bench press, squats, cleans, and jerks. Clean and jerks, sorry. And what's the other one? Overhead squats. Right. So those are what I do to stay in some kind of shape. I don't want to be round. I'd rather be shapy like this. But anything's better than being because I have to stay in shape for my job. Jesus Christ. All right. So I can't find the video, but when I do, I will post it. I will post it. That's for sure. Because I watched it and I was sort of impressed by this one wheel design. Anyway, and it was like I said, it was pretty good. It went 60 miles an hour on one charge. It was up to 125 miles, 175 miles, something like that. All right, guys. So listen. Thank you for joining me today. This is the Angry Prepper. I'm going to sign off now. Again, I appreciate you guys joining me. Also, guys, if you're looking to donate, which again you do not have to, there's I have Cash App and PayPal because what is it called? Super Chat here, YouTube. They take 30% out. Which again, I'm just giving you guys options. If you want to continue to give to Google, by all means, it's fine. Cash App, I just found out I get 100% of it, and Google PayPal, I think they take like 3% or something like that. Um, Marbury, protein powder is a tricky subject. It's not a one size fit all. It depends on if you're vegan or not. It depends on if you want animal products in it. It depends on if you want organic. There's a lot that goes with protein shakes. But I can text you the one I have here that's really good. Um, and I'll text you a little later. All right, guys. So listen, NYC Dad. I have a Patreon account. It's the Angry Prepper. Just check that out as well. The Patreon is for fun. That's about it. So, guys, again, I forget about this all the time. Hit the like button to obviously give it more likes. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.